Just going to try this again one more time. So, if you guys and gals can hear me, just want to be real quick for this story here, but something did capture my attention. So, I do hope that I am being heard. So, I will wait for a thumbs up, and that is it. So, here we go. So, good friend of the show, Jose Vega, was wrongly vilified by good old Paulie Boy, because Paulie Boy decided to have a little opinion piece. Okay, Paulie Boy got a little upset, and let's talk about what caused him to be upset. He went on the right on Tuesday. I was part of the City University of New York event about economic perceptions, which was briefly disrupted by a protester yelling out that President Biden isn't helping some of the areas afflicted by Hurricane Helene. The guy's politics were unclear. He was also yelling something about Israel, but it was an indication that Donald Trump's latest lie has gone viral. In case you missed it, Trump has been trying to exploit the natural disaster for political gain, claiming he heard that the federal government, Biden and North Carolina's Democratic governor, are going out of the way to not help the people in Republican areas. This claim has no basis. And to quote Jose Vega, the very famous Nobel laureate Paul Krugman, feeling a little insecure from being told the truth, has written a New York Times opinion article equating me to Donald Trump. Well, congratulations, Jose Vega. You made it to the New York Times, but also, shame on you. How could you hurt Paul's feelings? Who remembers this? Huh? I love talking about this.
Okay. Uh-oh, Nobel Prize-winning economist here to tell us how great the economy is. I certainly wonder how the residents of Asheville, North Carolina must be feeling right now with no access to power or water or communication with the outside world. I wonder how enthusiastic they are about the economy right now. I wonder how enthusiastic the residents
Fred, get out of the way, Fred!
Of the South Bronx must be feeling about the economy. Hey, maybe North Carolina should rename itself Israel so it'll get $20 billion in aid.
Yes, Paul, maybe you should pay attention before you write your goddamn article, because he was saying maybe if it was named Ukraine or Israel, they'd be billions of dollars in aid, which is somehow those two areas are able to get it. But the American people, we only get $750. That's 7 Benjamins and 1 Ulysses S. Grant. Don't spend it all in one spot, right? Paulie, you're a Nobel laureate. Be better.
Or maybe Ukraine, so it can get $300 billion in aid. Maybe the South Bronx should do the same thing. I mean, I'm sure the economy is great for smug liberals like yourself who make $5 million and are worth $5 million. I'm sure the economy must be great for all you smug journalists, economists. All of you must be having a great time with the economy when most...
Fred, you're doing too much. Fred, stop it. Stop it, Fred. Jose told me you and him were talking and shooting the breeze and you were pretty cool. That's not being a good, quick friend. That's not a self-serving friend.
People can't even pay for basic necessities for people who are getting
Stop it, Fred.
Because they can't pay their rent. Because over in the South Bronx, just a few miles away from here, there are portions of buildings that are literally collapsing. And I'm supposed to give a shit about the stock market.
God damn it, Fred. You're in the way. Fred's like, hey, look at me. Look at me. Like, what's that doing, Fred? What's that doing? You're doing too much.
They did because they can't pay their rent. Because over in the South Bronx, just a few miles away from here, there are portions of buildings that are literally collapsing. And I'm supposed to give a shit about the stock market. You want to know why the presidential election is tied right now? Because our money is being sent to Israel and Ukraine, so that they can continue to bomb innocent women and children. You think that's a great economy? I'm sure Israel, with their free healthcare, is having a great time with American taxpayer money. Hey, is anyone here going to talk about the fact that we could be in war with Iran in a few days? Or do we need to focus on the S&P 500? Is that what actually matters? The S&P 500, when most people may not even be alive here in a few days, just because we're on the verge of nuclear war. Hey, listen to me, Mr. Krugman. Your degree is worthless. You might as well use it as paperweight. It means nothing.
That's why you wrote that article, Jose. You told him his degree was worthless. You hurt his fifis. His fifis.
I hope you enjoy the dead children that the economy is powering. Our economy is definitely very powerful right now. All that stock market money goes to the military complex so that more innocent women and children are dead. And fuck off with the New York Times, the liberal apologists for war and genocide. You all fucking suck. People need to wake up right now, and we need to have peace. We can work with China. We can work with Russia. We don't need to start war with Iran. All right, I'm good. We're good.
That's right. Oh, Paulie. Oh, good old Paul Krugman. You call my friend Jose Vega a Trump supporter? You saying that he's Donald Trump? I don't know. In many ways, that's a high compliment, but nothing he said there was Trumpian. You want to know who's acting Trumpian? You, Paulie boy, because your feelings are pretty hurt. You decide to get triggered, perturbed, sad, and angry. Paul, listen, Paul, I'm going to give you this opportunity. I will moderate a debate between you and Jose Vega. This is my direct challenge. If you want to do it, Jose Vega, Paul Krugman, debate. You with your Nobel laureate, Jose Vega, running as a independent citizen for the congressional district. Come on. Make it happen. Bury the hatchet, Paul. Let's go ahead and set this up. Let's set up this debate. It'll be a Hard Lens Media special. I'll moderate a debate between Jose and Paul. Let's make it happen live and direct, because this right here, you're calling him a Trumper. You're saying that he's like Donald Trump. Shame on you. If you actually paid attention and clinging to your ears, you would probably listen to what he's saying. But who knows? Who knows? Let's see if we can make that happen live and direct. And also, who knows? If we could get special guest Fred, why not? Let's get Fred in there too. We'll talk more about this. We'll see how this develops, but it looks like Paulie Boy just got triggered.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Whether or not in Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
I don't mean to sound alarmist, but most of what they let you read is garbage. Most of it's designed to warp our minds until subconsciously you find you'll take the time to lick their boots free of grime and wipe their minds free of tarnish. Oil is the centerpiece, a body count of millions is the garnish. So how's it feel to know we funded every carcass? That every year our taxes pay for carpet bombing Gaza under shroud of darkness? Or that we spend enough a year to house and feed each homeless person in the streets on turning families in apartment buildings in the Middle East to bloody craters full of charred garments? And our media is silent at best. At worst, they can find it in themselves to call war crimes clashes and label children burned to ashes terrorists who played a stupid game and reaped the harvest. And every time we try to paint the truth, the news sends their slugs to suck off all the varnish and distort it into something harmless. See, the media will hang you by your feet and keep you half asleep. So yes, I'm here to set you free, but freedom won't be sweet because you'll fall 1,000 feet when I come cut you out your harness. They say those who dream the deepest fall the farthest. They also say that home is where the heart is. But if home for you is Gaza, Netanyahu's got you painted as a target. Perhaps it's not the impact, but it's what you see when falling that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the sound of all those children crying out in those apartments that will hit the hardest. Maybe all those little bodies scattered in the dirt will hit the hardest. Maybe seeing human lives assigned such little worth will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that you're paying for the darkest of atrocities committed on this earth that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that we give 10 million a day to oppressors who possess the kind of Medicare you'll die in debt before you see that's gonna hit the hardest. Maybe then you'll see you've always had more in common with the commoners whose slaughter we fund every day in Gaza than our senators and bosses. Maybe then you'll see our country never had a conscience. Maybe then the retroactive guilt will make you nauseous. Maybe what hits harder than the impact is the act of being conscious, of knowing your complicity and helplessness to try and stop the bloody deeds of Congress. And that no matter who's in office, America preserves its foreign interests by whatever means its greed demands, however monstrous. You see, we'll always need a place to train our contras. And Biden's got a backup plan should harm befall the Holy Land. Wipe it off the map, he'll draw it back on with an iron hand. He demands an Israel or reasonable effigy to exercise democracy and colonize the Middle East. Regardless of the human cost of phosphorus atrocities, bought and paid with money they rerouted out the budget for the non-essential things like ever making Flint's water clean. So maybe what hits hardest is the day you see this country for its actual priorities, and nevermore no honest peace attempting sleep. Maybe then you'll look at politicians making speeches like a blood-encrusted beast espousing destiny to empty seats and fellow leeches. As the gauntlet of democracy extends its brutal reach, like a giant wave of trash come to crash on foreign beaches. Maybe build a base, throw a flag down and heavily pollute the region. Rape your ecosystems, gut your fauna and congratulate you on your new allegiance. Oops, we mean alliance. This is something mutual unless you're non-compliant. We stole something crucial on which you can be reliant. So maybe what hits hardest is the centrists saying both sides need to stop the violence. And those would be the very same centrists saying we should all accept police brutality, who hem and haw and clutch their fucking pearls and spend their time condemning riots. But very soon will come the day the centrists all get censored like the rest of us, and pious as they'll try to be, they won't stay quiet. But they'll just end up shouting in the void that they were also quick to render us subscribers. And it will be too late to light the fires. So far away tonight, there burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Which is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. And call it foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. Far away tonight, there burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600.